The thing asks if you need a little more halftime in your life. We all really just need a little more baseball in our life, and we're going to get it too, because baseball season's a month away. And we are going to talk baseball right now with Arkansas assistant coach and recruiting coordinator Nate Thompson right here on Halftime. Nate, good to talk to you, man. Appreciate you joining with us today. I did not plan for you to come on just moments after the schedule was released, but it feels like my good luck today.
Hey, good timing, right, Phil? Yeah.
Absolutely.
So, absolutely, yeah.
That's what baseball's all about. It's all about timing, right?
That's what they say hitting is, and pitching's disrupting that, so.
Well, so you guys are ready to get started soon. Practice, I think, is getting going. Is it later this week, or does it start next week? Official practice? I know the guys have been working out and everything.
Yeah, we're in our skill portion. From an NCAA time, standpoint right now, a week from Friday will be when we head into the in-season portion of the schedule, and that's the first official practice. But we're working on stuff and trying to get ready.
Always feels like the bats are a little bit ahead of the arms in college baseball as far as being fully ready and prepared for the season. I've always felt like How can a pitching staff be really fully ready and prepared with 3 weeks? I feel hitters might be. What do you think?
Well, I wish I felt the same as you. The caliber of the pitching that we have on this staff and the depth of it challenges us in a great way, and it did all fall. And, we're getting back into facing live a little bit this week, and so it's going to be a nice little litmus test for our bats and our arms to see where we're at and where we need to go from here. But the pitchers are trying to get, they're going to be trying to build up their pitch counts and get everything going for opening weekend, and we're just going to try to get up to speed to face that velo and stuff. Well,
I mean, you obviously are, in charge of the hitters and all that, but your hitters know those pitchers better than anybody else right now. And we were talking about the pitching staff, or at least what it might look like in the last segment, and it's so difficult to know because you only had 10 or 11 games last year, and there's a lot of new faces. But one thing seems to be obvious for this team: you have a lot of really hard throwers. Is this a pitching staff that's filled with a lot of good velocity?
Yeah, absolutely. There's a lot of guys that are bumping, up into the mid 90s, and have continued to just develop their stuff. And no, it is. It's a huge challenge, but it's good for us. And the fact is, as we're getting going with the season, it gives us a lot of options. And it's a big deal this year, especially I think with just the chaos that could be of the season. With are you going to play? Or you're not going to play? Is this guy going to be available? Is he not? And we need to get be ready and get it done regardless.
Well, and part of the issue of what this season is going to look like is the fact that baseball teams travel more than any other college sport, and I think that's where the issue lies. So you guys are starting the season on the road. That wouldn't normally be anything I think that you would worry about, but that will definitely be an interesting way to begin the season. Plus, you're going to be playing 3 really good teams in that tournament in Texas.
Yeah, how about that lineup right there where we get to go up against, and 6 of the top 10 teams in the country, according to D1Baseball.com, and their top 25 ranking are going to be in Arlington. So, really fired up about that tournament. The opportunity to go play in that yard, and we need to be ready.
Coach Nate Thompson joining us here on Halftime. Coach, let's talk about that batting lineup, and one player that just really stuck out to me last year for the short period of time we got to see, and that was Robert Moore. And good Lord, he came on strong last season. Got a lot of excitement with this baseball team. What kind of step do you expect him to make this season, both in the field and in the lineup?
Well, as far as it defensively goes, Robert's, we feel is one of the top defensive players in the country, and especially at his position, whether that would be, second base or shortstop. You're always going to get good D from him, and he's gonna be ready to make plays for you there. Offensively, him coming into the season last year, he was kind of put into everything sped up for him a little bit. He didn't get the fall with us, and now he gets jumped into a top 25 lineup against a lot of really good competition early in the season last year. We saw a lot of good arms, and he got sped up at times, with chasing out of his zone a little bit and maybe not having as much poise in some situations with his approach, but man, he's a good player, and he's learned and he's continued to refine his game, and he's always working, and so we're looking at it like he's ready to take another step.
Mm-hmm.
He really is. And one thing I'm really excited about, I think he's cut down on his swing and miss, and he's also refined his two-strike approach, and that really showed in fall ball for us. So a little more consistency there, hard contact, and just a real leader.
I'm curious, too, about the first base position when you kind of look at how the lineup of this team. I mean, you got three quality defensemen that could go line up and play first base for this team right now. Brady Slavens, Matt Goodhart, and Kason Tolan. Is there any inkling of who you think might be better suited for that first base line, or who might be taking the lead in that spot in the locker room?
Well, I think you also have to, make sure you include Colin Smith in there. He's going to be an option in that mix as well. And so, we have a lot of options. It's a good thing. I don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves and say one guy's, we still have a long way to go before we get to opening day. And I'd say most everything's up for grabs right now. But we feel good about any one of those guys, especially with the bat.
Well, I was impressed with Slavens, what I saw in fall ball, Nate, and, of course, what Goodhart's done in the last couple of years. I mean, I would imagine those are two bats that you want to have in the lineup.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, that's the thing is, what's the old saying? If you hit, you play. And so that's what we're looking at. We think those guys will be in the lineup some way, shape, or form, no doubt about it.
What about right field? I saw Caden Wallace in right field in fall ball, and I know that he initially was a third baseman, but I was impressed, I guess, more with his arm. The kid's got a hose in right field, and he looks also like, one of those have bat, find position for. But what do you think of him in right field?
He's still a third baseman, but he's a really good athlete, and you're no doubt right about it with that arm strength. He's got serious arm strength. It shows across the diamond from third, and it really, really plays from right field as well. He's athletic enough to go out there. He's an above-average runner, especially for someone his size. And, we have no problem with him being in right field. We've been training him out there a little bit, but he's also been continuing to get reps at third base. And, that's definitely going to be an option. I think it's a really good thing, too, for his, long-term as far as professional baseball, too, because, you look at the MLB draft, and, it's kind of like this. Spencer Torkelson didn't go number one last year, because he's the best defender. It's because he's an incredible bat, and you swing it and you show versatility. It really helps you, kind of like what Spanberger did, back in 2017 as well, and even Kerstad last year, just giving us an option at first too. So we think it's a good thing.
Coach, when you kind of look at the batting lineup too, and I want to bring in Heston Kerstad for a minute. Obviously, moving on to the MLB draft, and we didn't get to see probably the swan song for one hell of a career that he had at Arkansas. But when you look at this year's team, and you knew what Heston could always bring to the plate and always knocking it out of the park and getting runs for this team, is there somebody that you're looking at right now that could fill his shoes, particularly hitting the ball? Maybe it's a returning player or one of these talented transfers that you got coming in, or one of the young guys.
I don't want to put, the expectations on any of our guys of Heston Kerstad right now, because he had a lot of experience going into last year. But I will say this, I think that Christian Franklin's a guy that had really come into his own last year and has a ton of ability, is going to be, one of the anchors of our lineup. I think Matt Goodhart now has been around the block and, shown a real ability to hit at this level for a couple of years in a row now. And, I don't see that stopping. And I think Robert Moore has, that experience last year was a big deal for him. And I think he's one of the best competitors in the game. and he's a guy that we're really excited about. Seeing him continue to up his game for us as well.
Last thing before I throw it back over to Phil, obviously we just had the schedule come out. The one big thing that I've taken away from this, and you started to see it last year when you guys would just begin taking on Little Rock. Nate, this year you're taking on all four of the Arkansas schools. You got UCA, A-State, Little Rock, and UAPB on the schedule. Being the assistant coach and kind of helping put this thing together, how important is it to you for like the future to always have the four main Arkansas schools on the schedule for you guys?
Oh, I think it's great. I think it's great for the baseball in the state of Arkansas. I think it's good that we get to play quality opponents, and we don't have to travel in the midweek as much, And no, I'm fired up about it. I think it's good for the fans too. The fans want to come see those matchups, and in baseball, anything could happen any given day. So, no, we're excited about it. We like it a lot.
Can't believe we made it through the first 11 minutes of this and haven't even mentioned the name Casey Opitz yet. Is he Captain Casey? Is this his team? Is that too simple to say?
No, I think you're right. He was voted, captain again by his teammates for a reason. And, just a real great leader, obviously plays, one of the most important positions on the field, if not the most important position. And, a guy that we know, we trust, and his teammates do as well. So, no, you can't put a price on having him back for us.
Yeah. Just a couple other things I wanted to touch on here. If you could speak to the level of play that you expect to see, not just in the SEC, because you're playing some other really good teams. Like, I feel like college baseball this year is going to have a noticeable increase in the level of play. And I feel like that's saying something, but because of the draft and because of the pandemic and the season being shut down and extra eligibility and rosters expanding, I just expect this to be an incredible season of outstanding baseball.
No, absolutely. I think you're going to see it, on the mound, at the plate, everywhere, all throughout the country. I think it's going to be very pronounced in the SEC because the SEC, it recruits better than any conference in the country. And because of the 5-round draft, every one of those SEC schools was able to get a player or two or three onto campus that probably wouldn't have made it otherwise. And we were able to keep a few of them ourselves. And so across the board, it's going to be a heightened level of talent, and plus there's a lot more experience right now in the sport because you've got a lot of 5th-year and even 6th-year guys at major programs. So we're going to be going up against, some of those people opening weekend.
I guess we'll have to leave it there, Nate. It just feels so good to talk about this stuff. It really does. It's good for the soul. I mean, didn't you feel, I know I did, didn't you feel like there was a little piece that was ripped out of you with no baseball season? And it was a shared experience because it happened to everybody else in college and in minor league baseball too. But, I feel like, I'm going to appreciate everything that I get out of this upcoming baseball season just because we're going to have a season.
Well, that was something that our coaching staff had made a point to talk with our players about before, at our first fall meeting this year. And again, before this spring got going was, hey, there's going to be some things that we have to deal with as a program this year that aren't going to be fun. And they might be a little bit of a pain in our tail. And, you got to do testing and there's going to be, pieces where it's in times where, things just aren't going to flow right. But let's all remember and be just super thankful we get to play this game.
Amen, brother.
And we get to get out on that field because, we all remember how, sick to our stomach and just devastated really when the season got called off last year. And so let's cherish it and go out and, hey, be the best at rolling with the punches and, stay the course.
And let's win some games while we're at it, huh?
Yeah.
How about that too?
Absolutely.
Nate, appreciate you, man. Thanks for coming on with us. Good luck with everybody. We'll do this again sometime.
You bet, guys. Thanks for having me on.
Appreciate it, Coach.
He is the best. That's Nate Thompson, Associate Head Coach and Recruiting Coordinator, Arkansas Baseball.
That's
and we
fun.
appreciate him coming on today. We're going to have a lot more college baseball talk in the upcoming month. We're going to get guests. And, hey, the texts come in, so we know you like it. You also like RV show pricing at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels is inviting you to skip the lines and crowds this year and shop the industry's best brands at Northwest Arkansas's premier RV dealer. You can also ask about a lifetime warranty, RV storage, and a mobile service shuttle. All these things help making owning a new RV never easier than before. RV show pricing beginning now at Wheels, 5 miles west off exit 72, right under the Tawny Town Water Tower in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV, also at wheelsrv.net. We'll wrap the show up. Get off my lawn.